Hey there, meteorologist Jamie Singleton. I'm going to be looking at two different cameras because we're on the internet and we're also on cable 12 to let you know that we have multiple areas that we're watching for flash flooding and flooding going on right now. Now, in the cable 12 viewing area, we are under a flood advisory for southwestern parts of Franklin County. I've got the radar pulled up here, and you can also see that we have a flash flood warning in effect until 6:15 this evening for Patrick County, going into Henry County. Southern Franklin County right now getting the very heavy rain, but parts of Stewart here on 58 heading west out of horse pasture in Henry County, just northwest of Bassett, going into Patrick County have seen a tremendous amount of rain, already 1 to 2 inches, and there is more rain falling right now at a very heavy rate. These are rainfall amounts today that are occurring about 1 to 2, even up to 3 and 4 inches per hour. And that's going to continue to be a problem into the afternoon. I've noticed here as I put this in motion that rain continues to develop upwind of this. So we continue to see what looks like a back edge coming through. But then as the moisture meets up against the Blue Ridge Parkway right here, notice how it redevelops. So if I zoom back in around Fancy Gap in western Patrick County, you can see these newer cells that try to develop. And one of the reasons is that we're seeing a ton of dynamic lift across the area. There are two jet streams in play, one beneath the other one, and they're both working together to wring out a bunch of moisture over the area. So the Patrick County flash flood warning is for small streams and creeks, urban areas, and highways. That's again until 6:15. But I can also show you we do have multiple flood advisories in effect. Now, a flood advisory is issued when conditions aren't quite there for a flash flood warning, but we do see the potential of low spots to generally flood, maybe not quite as severe or fast as what you would see in a flash flood warning. But the flood advisory for our cable 12 viewers and for folks on Facebook, and another one's being issued right now for Rocky Mount, Ferrum, down to Philpott Lake, and that includes western Henry County, Bassett into Patrick County. That is in effect, let's see, that's not the latest one. This is the one I'm looking for. This is in effect until 2 o'clock, but there's a new one that's just been issued until 3:15 that also includes Smith Mountain Lake into Amherst County, much of central Virginia here from Timberlake in the forest and Lynchburg, all the way up through Amherst County, and most of Bedford and Bedford County is under this flood advisory. 1 to 1.5 inches of rain has fallen here, and Lynchburg, Bedford, Alta Vista, Amherst, Hurt, Gretna, and Forest, including Back Creek, Big Otter River, and Allens Creek, are expected to flood, if not already. We still do have, now we've got a flash flood warning in effect for the Roanoke area. That's been issued just as we were jumping on here at 12:20. So that beeping you heard was the new flash flood warning that's up for Roanoke County, the city of Roanoke, and city of Salem. That's until 6:30 this evening. And let's see what they've got here. Between an inch and a half of rain's fallen, more heavy rain's developing. So if you're in Roanoke, you can see that you got the heavy rain over you right now, but upstream in Montgomery County into Floyd County, Lafayette, Shawsville here on the North Fork of the Roanoke River, it's pouring down rain yet again. Now here's the bigger picture on my SIMU AWIPS program. It can be a little bit hard to read sometimes, but you can see what looks like a lull here. Again, we'll wait and see if that actually is able to move through. We continue to see moisture that develops right up against the mountains, so it's hard to gauge on a radar loop exactly where the end of this is. I know that the models are continuing to show the potential of heavier rain throughout the day today. In fact, I'll go to the SPC page here, and we can show you the higher winds at 700 millibars. This is the upper level disturbance that's shaded right now, that's moving through the area. But we also have, I'll show you this. This is moisture transport into the area, and you can see where the winds, these are around 5,000 feet, these winds, where they're converging right over us. And you can see a high amount of moisture transport there through central Virginia where that heavier rain's developing. There is some drier trajectory here to the wind in Kentucky and Tennessee. But again, we're right on the back edge of that for right now, so maybe a little bit of a lull later this afternoon. But for the next couple of hours, it looks pretty bad and through central Virginia and right up against the Blue Ridge Parkway, which the models have been hinting at here since last night. They started to go way up in their rainfall prediction. Below 5,000 feet, I'd say at about 3,000 feet, you've got winds coming out of the east, and unfortunately what that's doing is it's banking right up against the mountains, and that creates a scenario where you hit the mountains, the air can't go down, it has to go up the mountains, and you wring out incredible amounts of rain as well. So that continues to be something that I'm watching. Now, the latest models that I've been looking at here, the short-term models, continue to show that same area into tonight, getting more rainfall. The hope is that the rain will taper off a little bit later on this afternoon, but where it tapers off for some, it may pick back up for others. You can see the rapid update cycle here showing us through Franklin County, where the areas are seeing the problems now, pretty much right on the money. Now I'm going to look at an update, see if I've got more data coming in here, and we'll look at the future radar. You see that back edge is slow to move through and it begins to train, so I'm more worried for the afternoon around Danville and Martinsville down into North Carolina, perhaps into Lynchburg as well, because there will be more rain today, and because it's just an overall east wind going into the area, you've got air overriding that'll still at least give us some light rain at the very least. So I'd say another quarter to a half inch for most areas, but another inch or two is possible where we're seeing those showers and thunderstorms. The total precip, this is excluding what we've already had. So this is the newer model run now, showing about 2 to 2.5 inches of rain, again on top of what we've already got here in the south side, and another ½ inch to an inch through Franklin County. But again, this is hard to really forecast unless you can get right into the mesoscale features, and you basically have to look at a live radar picture to see what's going on. This is again where we've got the flash flood warning in effect for southern Patrick County here around the Stewart area. Very heavy rain, and now that's moving closer into the Bassett Forks area. I mentioned that because this area can be very vulnerable to any type of runoff because of the topography there. I wouldn't say that's the hardest hit area at the moment, but if you look upstream and you put that in motion, that's certainly something that we're going to have to keep an eye on as this stuff up here upstream in Patrick County moves to the northeast. Again, Roanoke's also a concern. But even in parts of Franklin County and the Bedford County and Lynchburg right now, the heaviest rainfall is falling from Nelson County and the Charlottesville, Appomattox down through Gretna. What does concern me is this new activity in Floyd County. Although it's not covering a large area, it doesn't take much when the ground's already saturated. And so that's your update for right now. We'll continue to watch the areas of rain moving into the region. I'll show you my weather station right now. We've got about 0.61 inches of rain here at the TV station. Rain rate very low at the moment. Our temperature is only 67 degrees, but again, we're looking at the possibility for more of this rain to develop into the afternoon hours, and I'll continue to update you as needed as we look into the coming 3 to 6 hours or so. Hopefully, again, things calm down a little bit for you right now, but if you're in a low spot in the Roanoke Valley, you need to be getting higher ground right now. Same thing in Patrick County. Elsewhere, flood advisories are in effect, so if you're going to be traveling for lunch break or whatever, or getting off work this afternoon, just be aware of debris in the roads and those high water areas that you typically see. We'll see it probably transition to a river event as we go into tonight, with maybe some minor flooding in a few spots as all this runoff continues to move through the area. But this is the radar in motion again. You can see how the rain just continues to pile up here and develops almost out of thin air. When you have upslope flow like that, it can really get going. But there is the tendency now for some of this to start moving east. Unfortunately, that's causing new problems for the Lynchburg area and into south parts of Franklin County. That's your update for right now here on Cable 12 and here on Facebook. Cable 12 there and Facebook here. I'll have more updates as needed. Stay weather aware.